Hello guys, welcome back to the Afrofood Diary. Today we'll be talking all about buying yams in the diaspora, in the abroad. If you live outside of Africa, it means the yams you get are probably imported. Okay, in most cases I stay in Norway and the yams I get here, sometimes it's a miracle how they come out good. Okay. Buying imported yams require that you use your three eyes if you have an extra one. Okay. Yeah, and of course the easiest way to know if your yam is good is by pressing them, like pressing all over the body, and be sure that no part of it is soft, not even a little bit of it. Okay, and then you can pinch it to see if the inside is actually white or gray or black. That is another indication, another way to know if your yam is still okay. Yam that is still okay will be firm, like firm to the touch. It's a root, it's a tuber, right? So it's meant to feel very firm, and when you pinch it, you will see that the inside is actually white. It's meant to be white or maybe a little milkish, but never gray, never black. Okay. By the way, this is the head, and the other smooth part is usually the tail. Usually the head is the stronger part, the tail is a little softer. When you're boiling yam, the heads are usually tougher than the tail. Okay, so I remember back then when we make cut yams, especially new yams, we eat the head part because then the head feels a little firmer than the tail. We can then reserve the tail for chips, yam chips or fried yam. Yeah, so that is a little history of yams. Back to Obodo Yibo, I'm actually not so lucky with knowing the exact dates they bring yams to the Asian stores here, but a couple of times I've been lucky to meet freshly opened yams. I don't waste time at all. Like this one I'm washing right now, I went there, I saw they just freshly opened it up, so I just picked the best tubers I saw there. Sometimes I could just take up to 3, 4, up to 5, 6, depending on the quantity there that I saw to be good. Okay, and when I do that, buy in bulk, you will have no other choice than to preserve it. Okay, so line this with some paper towel to drain off excess water, and go ahead to clean it up, like take off the peels after washing it. By the way, this is how I love to peel my yam. Back home, my mom will scream because she's scared you're going to cut off a whole lot of yam while peeling it like this. Peeling yam like this back home is is not. This is not how wife materials do it. Just to say it like that. Okay, but this is the easiest way for me to peel yams, and over the years I've gotten very comfortable doing it in such a way that I'm not actually wasting the yam. But you can do the traditional ones, like cut them into smaller rounds and then peel it. Okay, so I just peel yams, peel them. I wash the back before peeling, and after peeling, if I notice that the skin has gotten a little bit of debris on them again, I will go in to rinse them one more time before I slice them into smaller pieces, sizable pieces, before storing them in the freezer. This is the traditional one. The traditional way to cut it. This is how wife materials cut their yams. Okay, let me know in the comment section, what way do you prefer to cut your yams? The first one, or are you a wife material? Let me know, please. So once I'm done peeling, I'm going to give them a quick rinse. Okay, that is why I lined my workbench with some paper towel to drain off the excess water. You don't want to have so much water on your yam. In fact, if it's possible, allow all the water on it to dry out completely. That way the yams you cut into cubes, they wouldn't stick together when you put them in the freezer. Okay, so drain off excess water to avoid the yams clumping together in the freezer. Okay, so, and in Norway, you plan you actually cannot say, okay, today I'm going to make a boiled yam, or I'm going to make porridge, before you actually see the yam. Okay, before you actually cut the yams open. It is by the time you cut open the yams and you're sure that it's okay, and you are sure the type of okay it is it a little brown, is it a little waxy, is it a little like discolored and all that, before you know what to do with the yams. So you can't actually wake up and say, okay, I want a puna yam porridge, those kind of sweet yam porridge, before you had gone to the Asian shop, bought the yams and cut them open. It's after cutting that you decide, if that makes sense. Yeah, so here you can see the yams, some of them have these spots on it, which is also natural. How you cut this is what I'm showing you here. Okay, so if you get spots like this that could have eaten deep into the yam, so you can slice through the spots. That way these spoiled spots will be like exposed in such a way that you can cut them away without having to poke into it with a knife and all that. It could be risky for your palm or for your fingers. Okay, so cut through the spoilage part. That way you expose the thing you want to cut off. So now that I'm done, I'm just going to slice them. You see what I'm talking about? Some of the yams are a little browned, but they are still okay for the abroad standard. So what I like to do is the ones that are a little bit discolored, or the ones that feel a little waxy when I'm cutting it, I know, okay, these ones are meant to be fried. Okay, when you fry such yams, they actually turn out very, very, very nice and tasty. Okay, but they wouldn't make the best yams for porridge, for instance, or for just boiling it white. Okay, yeah, so this is what I do with this type of yams. After cutting, I separate them. In fact, while cutting, I separate them into their groups. The very white and firm ones I reserve for yam porridge and the white yam. Then the discolored ones and the waxy ones I preserve for fries and chips. Okay, like this one now, it's very fresh, very firm, and very white. And the same way I grouped them, I'm going to put in Ziploc bags. And then even when I label them, I try to label them exactly the way they are. Like the ones that are very firm, I write firm and white. Then I could also tag it for porridge or for boiled white yam. In that way, all I need to do is open my freezer and pull out the exact one at the right time and for the right recipe. Another thing I don't miss is putting the date of cutting this yam on the tags, okay? Because yams are so precious here. Each time I go to the Asian stores and see fresh yam, I like to pick some, even though I still have some in the house, because you're not sure that next time you go there you are going to find yams. So I like to put dates so that I can eat them in order of age. Okay, so I wouldn't end up maybe eating the yams that were bought in April while I still have ones that were bought last Christmas, for example. Okay, even though they can be stored for a long time, it's good to still have the date there to remind you when and what is in the Ziplocs. Okay. So this is a perfect example of a yam that was preserved. This is frozen yam, okay? And you see they are well separated. To boil your fresh white boiled yam, you just put water in a pot, let it come to a rolling boil, then throw in the yams, okay? This will minimize the time the yam will be soaking in the water. That way it will boil and come out still firm, like firm, yummy yams. So guys, that is it for buying yams in the diaspora. Okay, I hope I've been able to answer some of your questions here. If you want a very detailed tip on how to preserve your yams, okay, for months, do well to check out Flo Chinyere's channel. She has a new video on how you can preserve your yams. Okay, do well to watch that. Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate you all as always. Do have a lovely Easter season. Bye.